I can't think of another presidential candidate in history who has ever tried to win the presidency by running against capitalism.
Welcome back to the Ed Show. Of course, that was Limbaugh attacking President Obama's record. Now Mitt Romney, well, he is siding with Limbaugh. Take a look.
Governor, would you go as far as Rush Limbaugh did yesterday and saying that this is the first president in modern time who's going to run a campaign against capitalism?
Well, it certainly sounds like that's what he's doing. There's no question but that he's attacking capitalism, in part, I think, because he doesn't understand how the free economy works. He's never had a job in the free economy, either as Vice President Biden. They spent their lives as either community organizers or as members of the political class.
All right, the big panel tonight. Let's turn to Jack Rice, Elise Hogue, and Michael Medved. We got a conservative, a liberal, in the middle of the rotor for you tonight, folks. Michael, let's start with you. Can you give us some, maybe I'm missing something here, can you give us some concrete examples of President Obama running against capitalism?
Well, I mean, obviously what Mitt Romney is responding to is all of the attacks on his success in Bain Capital. And part of what he means here is that what he did in Bain Capital is basically take over a lot of companies when he was running the company, and in 80% of those occasions, they transitioned and they actually helped those companies become more profitable. There is a great deal in the Obama campaign that seems to suggest that there is something obscene or wrong or dubious about seeking to turn companies around and to make a profit. And the fact is that I wouldn't use the term that he's running against capitalism. I think that's a stupid term. I would say that this has been a president who has been distinctly anti-business. Because people in America know...
How has he been anti-business? He's given out all kinds of tax breaks to businesses. He's put all kinds of incentives on the table. He's given Wall Street just about everything they've ever wanted. Jack Rice, your thoughts?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, he's gone over and over again at this issue. It's another example with no matter what it is that he says that doesn't fit the paradigm that the GOP is trying to argue. I think the fact that President Obama is willing to stand up and support all Americans, including working Americans, including the poor, that just means he's actually being responsive. It doesn't mean that he's being anti-capitalism.
Elise, does this mean that whatever Rush Limbaugh says, Mitt Romney's going to go along with? At first he was hesitant to answer that. Then he jumped right in.
Yeah, I mean, this is really putting a challenge up for old Etch-a-Sketch Romney, isn't it, Ed? I mean, this is a trick even for the Republicans. On one hand, they want to paint Obama as too close to Wall Street with the bailouts, and on the other hand, he's running against capitalism. Look, I think the bottom line is most Americans can tell the difference between vulture capitalism, as Governor Perry said in the primary, and good old-fashioned American free market economy that offers everyone equal opportunity. And that's what President Obama is trying to bring the economy back to after it was driven into a ditch by 8 years of George Bush.
Michael, would you admit that Mitt Romney went into businesses to get money? He didn't go in to create jobs. There's a difference here.
Absolutely right. But there is no way to create jobs unless you have corporations that are making money, unless you have corporations that are actually profitable, and you have an economy that's growing.
Well, he was raiding. He was going after companies that had big pensions and had war chests. They went in, paid themselves big fees, gutted the place, bankrupted, and walked with, $100 million in one case of AMPAD.
Oh, okay, but you see, the problem with what you're saying, Ed, is you are assuming that the people in Wall Street who are supposed to be so cunning and so conniving that they would somehow not get the idea that this was the means of procedure of Bain Capital. The truth is it wasn't. Most of the times that they went in and bought companies, they put money into those companies and they turned them around and then sold them for a profit. Look, this goes to what you were saying before.
No, their mission was not to go in and turn them around. They only bought companies that were good and making money so they could raid them. They didn't go in and buy companies that were losing money.
Incorrect.
Absolutely.
This GST company, the steel company in Kansas City that Obama's featured in his ads, was losing money.
That's a cyclical business, and you know that.
The president of the company said that had Bain not come in, that they would have closed.
Michael, what about
8
the
years
stories these
did.
people are telling? This guy has gone in and ruined lives to take profit. Jack, your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we have seen. We've seen the hacking and the raiding of companies, not for the benefit, but not for the benefit. This wasn't for the benefit of America. This was for the benefit of Mitt Romney. And the problem is that cyclical difference and the ramifications were massive for America. It was very negative, but he never cared particularly about that.
Hold on. Here's Romney defending his record at Bain. Here it is.
With regards to Bain Capital,
thank you.
They just put a report out about their record. The Bain Capital guys did. They noted they made about 350 investments since the beginning of the firm, and of those investments, 80% of them grew their revenues. So I'm pretty confident that the overall record of the enterprise I helped begin is one that's pretty solid.
And the other 20%, to hell with them, right, Elise? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I also think that Mitt Romney is trying to distract from his record as governor of Massachusetts, where the deficit went up and the job creation went down. Look, I think all of this is a way to keep the focus off of him and throw attacks at the president to put him on the defense, because Mitt Romney and the rest of the Republican Party knows that he can't stand on his record, whether it's at Bain or whether it's as governor of Massachusetts.
But
okay,
go ahead, Mike.
The basic question the American people are going to ask right now is, do we want to continue the country in the direction that it's been going in the last 3.5 years?
Sure.
And it has nothing to do. Mitt Romney left Bain Capital in 1993. And I honestly believe that if you take a look at the percentage of successful ventures that he had, and this is the point about running against capitalism or running against business.
Nobody's running against capitalism, Mike. And I want to, just clarify here. It's Mitt Romney who is citing his experience at Bain Capital, the things that it makes him qualified to be the president of the United States.
I understand, but will you agree that somebody said earlier, just a moment ago, that what about the 20% of businesses that failed? The truth is that capitalism means sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. If you succeed 80% of the time, then you're one of the most successful businessmen in American history, which Mitt Romney is.
Okay.
But the problem that we have here in the end is that this is not about job creation. This was about profit for Bain and for Romney, and that's the real problem that Americans are looking at.
And profit and job creation are not contradictory.
And what Michael is ignoring is the fact that sometimes people lose, but the way that Mitt Romney ran Bain, he never lost. His $1 million investors never lost. The people who always were on the losing end of the stick were the middle-class Americans who were just trying to do their jobs and get ahead.
All right. Okay, Jack Rice, Elise Hogue, and Michael Medved will have you back. Great to have you with us tonight. Thanks for joining the panel. Union-busting Governor Nikki Haley is campaigning for Scott Walker in Wisconsin. She says if Walker loses, it'll be a major hit for Republicans everywhere. Democrats, that ought to motivate you. The latest on the Walker recall next.